prices are slowing, but pockets are still empty. The finance minister set a target to cut inflation to 8% from 23.8% in December 2024. The goal has almost been met. Inflation for October 2025 now stands at 8.1%, below the budget target of 11.9%. Let's hear from the finance minister. A bit of a challenge in
economic target for 2025. 1. Overall GDP growth at least 4.0%. At least. Non-oil GDP growth of at least 4.8%. End year inflation rate of 11.9%. Primary balance on commitment basis at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP.
Ladies and gentlemen, in October 2025, inflation reduced to 8% from 9.4% in September. This means that prices in Ghana were 8% higher in October 2025 than they were in October last year.
And for a lot of you watching at home, you're asking, what does this really mean? Lower inflation means prices are rising, but a bit slower. Not that they are falling, and the numbers may look good, but for many households, the cost of living may quite be different. Food remains the biggest expense, taking about 43% of household income, and that makes food inflation the real measure of how far your money goes. And the recent data shows that food inflation has eased, helping to pull down the overall rate. Imported goods have also stabilized with a stronger cedi, yet non-food costs such as housing, transport, and utilities remain quite high, keeping pressure on family budget. Exactly a week from now, the finance minister will present the 2026 budget statement. As we build up to that day, let's get into the data and see where the change is happening. And we're going on to our dashboard right now in relation to that particular subject matter. And that's where we're going right now, the dashboard, and bring you details as to what really the numbers are. And we're going there right about now in terms of looking at inflation and its trend for you. You heard the government statistician speak. And so this was the end of year target. Without a doubt, it is quite clear that the government has exceeded its budgetary target by some 3.8% already, because for the month of October, it was recorded at 8%. And so it means some good news in terms of the macro outlook of the economy. But again, it will come back to the question as to whether or not this is being felt in the pocket. But this is the trajectory of what inflation has looked like since the start of the year, where we were at 23.5%. Now we're down to 8% as at the 10th month of the year. And so in 10 months, we've brought it from 23.5 to 8%. What are the key drivers, reason why it continues to remain at 8%? We see recreation, sports, and culture, things that people are expending money on in terms of the little debriefs after a stressful day and week, leading the way with 15.1%. Housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels. And mind you, prices of fuel has dropped in the last few weeks, but comparatively, as compared to other years when inflation was high in the 2020s, you'd say that it's come down considerably, but it continues to be among the many things which is keeping inflation in the regions where we're seeing, despite many saying that, is great. And then there is housing as well. Water and electricity, we know that despite the positives, we've seen tariffs increase marginally on electricity. Water didn't get anything at the last time of check. But all of that and more is a second contributor as to why inflation remains where it is. Then there is the alcoholic beverages, tobacco, and then narcotics. There is clothing and footwear. There is personal care, and other matters, and then restaurant and accommodation services, amongst many other things. Non-food inflation overall, 6.9%, and that's what the numbers look like for you. That's it by the way of by the numbers. And